This visual breakdown demonstrates a statistical illusion. Read a description of a man named Steve as tidy, meek, and having a passion for detail, and 90% of people will assume he is a librarian. Statistically, he is far more likely to be a farmer, simply because farmers vastly outnumber librarians. We ignore the math and default to the stereotype. Behavioral scientists like Daniel Kahneman identify this as a survival mechanism. The subcortex relies on rigid templates to process information rapidly and conserve energy. That speed keeps you functioning in everyday situations. But those exact same energy-saving templates act as mental blockades, paralyzing your ability to perform high-level, creative thinking. We can override this biology. We are going to walk through a strict 3-step brain-shifting protocol to bypass your lower-order defaults and force your neural networks into lateral thought. Before we move to step 1, pause this video. Grab a piece of paper and write down one specific, high-friction problem you are currently unable to solve. True innovation is biologically unnatural. Your brain prefers to save calories, so overcoming these mental blocks requires a deliberate, engineered hack of your own cognitive architecture. Step 1 is the primer. Look at the problem you just wrote down and focus exclusively on those words for 2 full minutes. The critical failure point here is the urge to fix it. You must explicitly avoid trying to solve the problem. Your only task right now is to absorb the parameters. When you concentrate on a specific issue for several minutes without reaching a resolution, you send a signal to your neural networks. You are telling your brain that this specific set of data has high survival significance. This brain schematic illustrates the process. As your 2-minute timer counts down, that sustained, unresolved focus forces the prefrontal cortex to activate. Manufacturing this intense friction elevates your problem out of the brain's automatic background processing, staging it for higher-order work. Now we apply step 2, artificially restricting the resources you have available to solve the problem. To understand why this forces a cognitive shift, we look at an experiment conducted by researcher Tina Seelig at Stanford University. She gave 2 groups of students a weekend to turn a profit. The first group was handed a starting resource of $100. The second group was restricted to an extreme limitation of just $5. This comparison chart tracks the results. The $100 group bought cleaning supplies and washed cars, but the $5 group vastly out-earned them. They abandoned traditional business ideas entirely, using their $5 to book prime restaurant tables over the phone, and then selling those reservations to people waiting in line. When resources drop below what standard templates require to function, the brain has to adapt. It switches into multi-directional, lateral thinking to solve the resource gap. Look back at your paper. Immediately apply an extreme limitation to your problem. Slash your budget by 90%, or cut your deadline from a month down to 2 days. Abundance breeds cognitive laziness. Forced scarcity strips away the easy assumptions and catalyzes creative problem-solving. This diagram maps our neural structure. The left hemisphere processes language rigidly, meaning you cannot simply talk yourself into a creative solution. You must transmit this data away from the left side, deep into your right hemisphere's nonverbal subcortical areas. We do this through physical action. Pick one of the following 4 strategies. Option 1 is the focal daydream. Stare at an object, like a glass of water, until your eyes relax and your mind disconnects from the physical room. Option 2 is the wardrobe hack. Change into a radically different outfit. Altering your physical presentation overrides the brain's current behavioral assumptions. Option 3 is the nature reset. Step outside. The structured walls of a modern room enforce structured thinking. The outdoors strips away that mind-shaping environment. Option 4 is the sleep directive. For nighttime viewers, concentrate on the problem and instruct your brain to work on it during the dreaming phase immediately before closing your eyes. Abstract thought requires a physical disruption. You must physically change your state to successfully transition from rigid, structured processing to a nonverbal creative state. Welcome back. By successfully completing your physical transition strategy, you have shifted from cognitive friction into lateral flow. You have bypassed the energy-saving efficiency mode of your lower-order thinking and engaged your higher-order networks. Your brain is now connecting your current problem with scraps of past experiences from completely unrelated fields. Write down the raw, unconventional ideas surfacing right now. Do not filter or judge them yet. Once they are on paper, perform the final step. Reactivate your critical thinking. Objectively assess these raw concepts against your past knowledge to see which ideas actually hold up to reality. Using this protocol provides a repeatable method to bypass your brain's default stereotypes. By pairing lateral intuition with critical refinement, you can navigate obstacles that your standard logic cannot.